Do you ever feel like you're running on a never-ending treadmill, watching others effortlessly surge ahead while you struggle to keep pace? Imagine if you could unlock the secrets to not just keeping up, but outsmarting and outpacing 99% of those around you. What if the barrier between you and your extraordinary potential isn't about what you're facing externally, but what lies unexplored within you? In a world brimming with competition, constant comparison, and an unyielding rush for success, it's easy to feel lost in the crowd, wondering why you're not part of the elite few who seem to have it all figured out. But what if the key to breaking out of this cycle and leaping ahead isn't found in external strategies, but within a philosophy that has stood the test of time? Today we will unveil 7 transformative Stoic practices that can rewire your mental approach to life and success. These aren't just philosophies, they are practical, actionable strategies that can catapult you into the top 1% of thinkers and doers. Prepare to embark on a transformative journey that promises not just to change how you view success, but how you achieve it. The wisdom of Stoicism has the power to elevate your life's journey, placing you among those who don't just dream of greatness, but live it every day. Principle 1. Adopting a cosmic perspective. As we embark on the quest for personal excellence and transformation through Stoicism, the first principle calls for a radical shift in perspective, one that soars above the immediacy of daily trifles to the boundless expanses of the cosmos. This Stoic exercise, known as the view from above, beckons us to contemplate our existence against the backdrop of the universe's enormity. It is a practice designed to shrink our egos and broaden our understanding of where we stand in the grand tapestry of existence. Understanding the cosmic perspective. The cosmic perspective is a pivotal Stoic tool, serving to contextualize our lives within the larger schema of the universe. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, alludes to this vastness. Look at the stars lighting up the sky. No one is so unhappy as to suppose they were lit for him alone. The Stoics taught that seeing oneself as part of a larger whole is both humbling and enlightening. By recognizing our minute scale, we learn not to ascribe too much significance to our problems, which are often as transient as a shooting star in the vast night sky. The significance of our place in the universe. In realizing our small, albeit unique place within the cosmos, we free ourselves from the shackles of the ego. The preoccupations that once seemed monumental are now seen as mere blips on the cosmic radar. Seneca's letters prompt us to consider the longevity of our universe against the fleeting nature of our lives, urging a sense of urgency and purpose in our actions. When we understand that our time is limited, and that we are but one thread in the fabric of an ancient and endless universe, the pettiness of personal bias and ego-driven behavior becomes trivial, if not obsolete. Reducing ego and personal bias. The cosmic perspective is an antidote to the ego's insidious influence. It diminishes the self-importance we attach to our subjective experiences and biases. Epictetus famously declared, "You are a little soul carrying around a corpse." This stark reminder is not meant to be morbid, but to stress that in the grand scheme, our egoistic concerns are inconsequential. This perspective can liberate us from the tyranny of the self, allowing for a more objective, balanced, and benevolent view of life's happenings. Practical exercises for a cosmic perspective. Contemplation on the vastness of space and time. Take moments to gaze at the sky, especially at night. Let your mind wander among the stars and galaxies. Reflect on their immensity and longevity compared to your own lifespan. Use this contemplation to instill a sense of humility and wonder, reducing the inflated sense of self-importance that troubles the human heart. Meditation on interconnectivity and unity of nature. Sit quietly and envision the interconnected web of life, from the tiniest microorganisms to the largest celestial bodies. Meditate on how you are part of this intricate system. Recognize that the same forces that operate on the stars also work within you. This meditation promotes a feeling of unity with the cosmos and reinforces the Stoic principle of living in harmony with nature. Journal prompts for realizing the small scale of personal problems. Engage in daily journaling, focusing on prompts that challenge you to see your problems from a cosmic scale. Ask yourself questions like, will this matter in a year, a decade, or at the end of my life? And how does this problem measure against the vastness of the universe? These prompts encourage a re-evaluation of the significance we give to our daily struggles, incorporating the cosmic perspective into daily life. To adopt this cosmic perspective is to embrace a kind of mental vastness that underpins all Stoic wisdom. It is to recognize that our time is not just a personal chronicle, but a part of a cosmic drama. This recognition breeds a profound sense of humility and responsibility to live wisely, justly, and courageously, knowing that while our actions may be a mere whisper in the wind of eternity, they resonate in the web of causality that binds the universe. By internalizing this cosmic viewpoint, we set the stage for a life of depth, devoid of unnecessary attachments and false pretenses. In this grand vision, personal excellence becomes not an exercise in egoism, but a tribute to the cosmic order we embody. Principle 2. Mastering preemptive contemplation. Stoicism equips us with a potent mental rehearsal technique known as premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils. This principle is not an exercise in pessimism, rather, it is a strategic cultivation of resilience and foresight. By envisioning potential difficulties and setbacks, we arm ourselves not only with the fortitude to withstand them, but also with the strategic acumen to navigate through or around them. The Stoic practice of negative visualization. Negative visualization, contrary to its name, is a positive, pragmatic strategy employed by Stoics like Seneca and Epictetus. It involves contemplating possible negative outcomes, not to dwell on them but to diminish future shocks, and to appreciate what we currently have. This visualization is grounded in the understanding that life is inherently unpredictable and that the only certainty is our ability to control our responses. Seneca wrote, "He robs present ills of their power, who has perceived their coming beforehand." This ancient advice exhorts us to foresee the storms of life, thus lessening their impact. By regularly visualizing the loss of what we hold dear, we bolster our appreciation for the present and hone our psychological resilience against potential future loss, anticipating challenges for resilience. The anticipation of challenges is about being prepared. Marcus Aurelius mused on the nature of human experience, noting that the art of living is more like wrestling than dancing. In this sense, being forewarned of life's difficulties is being forearmed. When we preemptively contemplate life's adversities, we are not taken by surprise, and our equanimity remains unshaken in the face of sudden upheavals. Practical exercises for preemptive contemplation, guided visualizations for potential setbacks. Engage in a guided meditation where you visualize a potential challenge or setback. Imagine yourself handling the situation with calm and poise. Visualize not just the challenge, but also your response, fostering a sense of preparedness and control. Journaling for mental rehearsal of difficult scenarios. Keep a journal where you outline and mentally rehearse how you would deal with difficult scenarios. Writing about these scenarios can help you think through them more deeply, analyzing possible outcomes and responses. This process helps to develop emotional and practical responses to challenges that may arise. Developing action plans for identified challenges. After identifying possible challenges through visualization and journaling, create detailed action plans for how to address them. These plans should include proactive steps and contingency measures, building a mental and practical framework for resilience, incorporating preemptive contemplation into daily life. This Stoic principle encourages us to integrate the practice of negative visualization into our daily routine, preparing our minds for adversity and celebrating the absence of these adversities in the present. It encourages us to live with a heightened sense of awareness and gratitude. In embracing preemptive contemplation, we construct a mental bulwark against the vicissitudes of fate, This Stoic armor not only shields us, but also empowers us to act with courage and wisdom, regardless of the circumstances we may encounter. The future, with all its unknowns, becomes less daunting when we've already traversed its possibilities in the mind's eye. Through mastering preemptive contemplation, we transform potential fears into well-charted courses, thereby steering our lives with intent and readiness. Principle 3. Voluntary discomfort as a training ground. The Stoic path encourages the counterintuitive embrace of discomfort. As the practice of a seasoned warrior preparing for battle, we train in adversity to fortify our resilience. In Seneca's words, "Sometimes even to live is an act of courage." This courage is what we aspire to, a resilience built not in ease, but in the deliberate pursuit of discomfort, broadening our comfort zones and fortifying us against life's inevitable strife. The Stoic rationale for seeking discomfort. Seneca, in his letters, advises, "Set aside a certain number of days during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, with coarse and rough dress." The practice is not mere frugality, but a preparation for the unexpected, a reminder of our ability to survive and even thrive in less than ideal circumstances. Growth potential, outside comfort zones. Marcus Aurelius, a paragon of Stoic virtue, proclaimed, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." It is in the soil of discomfort that we find fertile ground for growth, stepping beyond the familiar to reach new heights of potential. Practical exercises for voluntary discomfort. Scheduled voluntary discomfort exercises. Epictetus encourages starting with small challenges, moving to moderate ones, and eventually to those of greater value. This could be as simple as a cold shower, a day of fasting, or forgoing comforts like sleeping on a softer bed. With each challenge, we are reminded of Epictetus's teaching that it's not the circumstances themselves, but our opinions about them that disturb us. Reflections on discomfort and personal growth. Reflect on your experiences with discomfort. Epictetus stated, "Don't just say you have read books, show that through them you have learned to think better." Document these thoughts in a journal, turning each challenge into a lesson in strength and endurance, creating a discomfort ladder. Construct a sequence of increasingly challenging exercises, following the advice of Musonius Rufus to train progressively, like an athlete preparing for competition. Each rung represents a step out of your current comfort zone, moving you closer to Stoic fortitude. Implementing voluntary discomfort into daily life. As we integrate these practices, we remember Musonius Rufus's counsel to prepare methodically for life's harder seasons. This gradual, deliberate practice of seeking out discomfort transforms it from a dreaded possibility to a familiar ground, stripping away its power to unsettle us. In this way, discomfort is reframed. It is no longer a harbinger of misery, but a crucible for development. By adopting this Stoic practice, we craft an indomitable spirit, one that faces life's fluctuations with calm and assurance. Yet as we incorporate this principle, let us heed Seneca's warning against overindulgence in intellectualizing our challenges. We must take care not to make the intellect our god. It has, of course, powerful muscles, but no personality. Discomfort should instruct, not destroy. It's not about the severity of the challenge, but the spirit with which we engage it. By approaching voluntary discomfort thoughtfully and reflectively, we sharpen our character, readying ourselves to meet any of life's demands with unwavering courage and a steady heart. Principle 4. Mastering what's in your power. The Stoic Dichotomy of Control teaches us to discern between what is ours to command and what is not. It's a principle that conserves our mental energy for the tasks that are truly within our influence, thereby maximizing our effectiveness and inner peace. The Stoic Dichotomy of Control, Epictetus, clearly stated this philosophy in his Enchiridion. Some things are in our control and others not. This simple yet profound statement delineates the boundary between our internal self and the external world. Grasping this concept is the bedrock of Stoic peace. To confuse the two realms is to invite turmoil into one's mind. Efficiency. in focusing on what one can influence. Marcus Aurelius meditated on this idea, stating, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The sage emperor understood that internal focus was the key to personal mastery. This is not a withdrawal from the world, but a strategic engagement with it. Practical exercises for mastering. What's in your power control inventory? As Seneca suggests, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. List down your worries and identify which are products of imagination, those outside your control, and which you can actually influence. Daily practice of surrendering control over external events. Reflect on the Stoic teacher Musonius Rufus's advice, who taught that not everything is up to us and sometimes we must play the cards fate deals. Practice this by letting go of a single outcome each day and accepting it as it unfolds. Cognitive reframing techniques. Following the counsel of Epictetus, who advised looking for the good in each situation, reframe your problems. Ask, "What is under my control?" and direct your energies there. This teaches you to convert obstacles into opportunities. Implementing the mastery of control in life. In the practice of differentiating between what we can and cannot control, we follow the Stoic path of mental discipline. This mastery is not innate. It requires the same diligence as any other skill. As implied by Epictetus, no great thing is created suddenly. This Stoic principle fosters an inner citadel, a stronghold within that remains unassailable by external fortunes. It is the practice of meeting each event with the question, is this within my control? If not, it is met with acceptance. If so, it is met with action. Balance and inner freedom. The application of this principle, as Seneca would argue, requires moderation, the understanding that some things are up to us but many are not. True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future, he advised, which is possible only when we focus on the present, on what we can control. Through the consistent application of this wisdom, we align ourselves not only with Stoic principles, but with the very nature of existence. We live, as Marcus Aurelius strived to, in accordance with nature, finding peace in the understanding and acceptance of what we can and cannot change. In conclusion, by internalizing and practicing this Stoic lesson, we prepare ourselves for life's most challenging moments. We become architects of our inner landscape, capable of cultivating serenity amid chaos. The mastery of what's in our power is not just about personal success, it's about attaining the peace that is the hallmark of a life well lived, as envisioned by the Stoic sages. Principle 5. Reflective journaling for wisdom. In the quest for Stoic wisdom, reflective journaling stands as a pivotal practice. It's a method through which we examine our thoughts and actions, distill wisdom from our experiences, and chart a course for personal growth. The Stoic practice of reflection. Seneca, a Stoic luminary, was an advocate for reflection, writing, "When the light has been removed and my wife has fallen silent, aware of this habit that's now mine, I examine my entire day and go back over what I've done and said, hiding nothing from myself, passing nothing by." His nightly reflections served as an intimate audit of his soul, a practice echoed in the modern exercise of journaling. Journaling for wiser decision-making, Marcus Aurelius's Meditations, is perhaps the most famous example of Stoic journaling. He wrote not for an audience but for himself, "Do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you. While you live, while it is in your power, be good." His reflections capture an immediacy and an introspection that sharpened his decision-making as a leader. Practical exercises for reflective journaling. Structured journaling templates. Adopt a template for daily use that mirrors the Stoics' reflections on virtues and actions. This can include sections such as what I did well, what I did not, and what I learned. Guided questions for evening reflection and morning planning. Epictetus encouraged preparation for the day's challenges and reflection on one's actions. Questions like, "What did I improve today?" and "What challenge will I face tomorrow?" can guide your journaling sessions. Case studies demonstrating the power of reflective journaling. Reflect on historical figures who journaled and how it impacted their lives. For instance, consider how Aurelius's notes to himself reveal a man shaping his character through reflection and how you can emulate this practice. Implementing reflective journaling into daily life, as Seneca puts it, we should every night call ourselves to an account. What infirmity have I mastered today? What passion opposed? What temptation resisted? What virtue acquired? Through such inquiries, journaling becomes not just a record of the day, but a workshop for the soul. Developing wisdom through reflection. Reflective journaling facilitates a dialogue with oneself, allowing for a clear-eyed view of one's moral and practical life. It sharpens the mind, allowing for the Stoic ideal of a life led by reason and virtue. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one, Marcus Aurelius prompts. Reflective journaling is the arena where this striving towards goodness takes shape. Through journaling, we can follow the guidance of these Stoic sages, not just in understanding their teachings, but in applying them. Each entry becomes a stepping stone towards wisdom, an incremental advancement of the self towards the Stoic ideal of a life well-examined and well-lived. Principle 6. Turning barriers upside down. The Stoic philosophy advocates a radical reimagining of barriers. What if, instead of hindrances, they are seen as formative pathways to greater heights? This principle is encapsulated in the words of Marcus Aurelius: "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." The art of leveraging obstacles as opportunities. This teaching is a cornerstone of Stoicism, inviting a cognitive flip that transforms every obstacle into a stepping stone. Marcus Aurelius, a man besieged by the burdens of leadership and personal loss, consistently found resilience in reframing adversity. Our actions may be impeded, but there can be no impeding our intentions or dispositions, because we can accommodate and adapt. The mind adapts and converts to its own purposes the obstacle to our acting. Historical and contemporary examples. History offers a pantheon of figures who epitomize this Stoic principle. Consider Thomas Edison, who, upon his laboratory burning down, exclaimed, "Thank goodness all our mistakes were burned up. Now we can start anew." In modern times, we see this with entrepreneurs who pivot their business strategies in the face of failure, turning setbacks into innovative breakthroughs. Practical exercises for turning barriers upside down. The obstacle is the way. Meditation. Regularly practice a meditation where you visualize an obstacle and then mentally work through ways to use it to your advantage. This could involve recognizing hidden opportunities, developing new skills, or finding unexpected collaborations. Personal history analysis for past obstacles turned into opportunities. Reflect on previous challenges in your life that, in hindsight, led to personal growth or unforeseen opportunities. Write down these instances and analyze the actions and mindset that allowed you to pivot. Scenario planning to flip future barriers upside down. Think of potential future challenges and visualize how to convert them into benefits. This kind of proactive planning not only prepares you for future events, but also cultivates a mindset that eagerly looks for the silver lining in every situation, deepening the practice of reversing obstacles. To integrate this principle deeply into one's life requires consistent practice and a robust faith in the potential for transformation. It's a commitment to seeing life's slings and arrows not just as inevitable, but as invaluable. This is a tall order. It asks for a vigilance of the spirit, an ever-present readiness to turn every instance of adversity into a lesson or a new path forward. Embracing the Stoic optimism. Stoicism, therefore, is not a philosophy of grim endurance, but one of optimistic engagement. As Ryan Holiday puts it, the obstacle in the path becomes the path. Never forget, within every obstacle is an opportunity to improve our condition. This mindset champions the possibility inherent in every moment, particularly those moments that seem most fraught with difficulty. Cultivating an opportunistic resilience. The practice of turning barriers upside down is not simply a mental exercise, it's a way of engaging with the world that acknowledges the complex interplay between fate and will. It's an understanding that, while we may not choose our circumstances, we can always choose our response. And it's within that choice that our true power lies. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength, Marcus Aurelius reminds us. Conclusion. By extending this principle to all aspects of life, we cultivate a resilience that is proactive, creative, and unshakably optimistic. We learn not to fear obstacles but to welcome them, understanding that each is not just a barrier to be overcome, but a question to be answered, a lesson to be learned, and an opportunity to be seized. In this way, Stoicism teaches us that the true measure of our progress is not the absence of obstacles, but our response to them. Principle 7. Seeking virtue over pleasure. The Stoic ideal holds virtue, not pleasure, as the highest good. This principle does not reject pleasure, but rather sees it as subordinate to the ethical life. As Seneca wrote, "Virtue is nothing else than right reason." The Stoic pursuit of virtue over hedonistic pleasure. Stoics regard virtue as the sole source of true happiness. Epictetus stated, "If you seek truth, you will not seek victory by dishonorable means, and if you find truth, you will become invincible." The pursuit of virtue calls for a life dedicated to self-improvement and wisdom, rather than the ephemeral satisfaction of the senses. Long-term fulfillment. Derived from virtue. Unlike pleasure, which is fleeting, virtue offers a profound sense of fulfillment that endures. Marcus Aurelius noted, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." By cultivating virtues like justice, courage, temperance, and wisdom, Stoics strive for a well-examined life, rich with purpose and inner peace. Practical exercises for seeking virtue over pleasure. Virtue, signaling versus virtue. Living. Engage in self-reflection to discern whether your actions are truly virtuous or if they are performed for outward appearance. Record instances where you might have engaged in virtue signaling and contrast these with acts of genuine virtue. Pleasure audit. Regularly assess the pleasures you pursue and determine whether they contribute to or detract from your character. Ask yourself, is this pleasure serving my higher goals, or is it a temporary diversion? Implementing a virtue-focused daily routine. Design a daily routine that prioritizes virtuous activities. This might include moments of reflection, acts of kindness, or the disciplined pursuit of knowledge, all aimed at strengthening character rather than seeking momentary delights. Deepening the commitment to virtue. Stoicism teaches that the fulfillment found in virtue is not only more lasting, but also more profound than that found in pleasure. As Epictetus suggests, freedom is not achieved by satisfying desire, but by eliminating it. In pursuing virtue, one seeks not to extinguish pleasure, but to find a deeper joy that comes from living in accordance with nature and reason. Cultivating contentment through virtue. The Stoic emphasis on virtue over pleasure is about aligning with the deeper currents of life, those that nourish the soul over the senses. It is about understanding, as Marcus Aurelius did, that very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. Conclusion. Stoicism does not call for the denial of pleasure, but rather for its transcendence through a life of virtue. By seeking virtue over pleasure, we are promised not a life devoid of enjoyment, but one in which our joys are richer, our contentment deeper, and our peace of mind more profound. This is a life where every action and choice is imbued with the weight and warmth of moral goodness, a life where virtue becomes its own reward. The path forward, integrating Stoic excellence into life. Closing reflections. As we reach the culmination of our exploration of Stoicism, we recognize that these 7 principles are not merely philosophical concepts. They are calls to action, invitations to embark on a transformative journey towards excellence. Each principle, from adopting a cosmic perspective to prioritizing virtue over fleeting pleasures, serves as a foundational pillar upon which a life of resilience, wisdom, and profound contentment can be built. Stoicism reminds us that the path to self-mastery is a continuous practice, a tapestry woven from the threads of daily habits, reflections, and choices. It encourages us to remain students of life, committed to the pursuit of personal growth and understanding. The Stoic journey is not one of swift arrival at a final destination, but rather a lifelong voyage marked by learning, endurance, and self-improvement. To those who have walked with us through these principles, consider this not an end, but a beginning. Let the insights gleaned ignite a flame within you to apply these lessons with consistency and courage. The transformative power of Stoicism is realized in action, in the steadfast application of its wisdom amidst the ebb and flow of life's complexities. Let us leave you with a call to action. Begin your Stoic journey today. Take the first step with a simple act of reflection, a moment of mindfulness, or a deliberate foray into the realm of discomfort with the aim of growth. Remember that within the folds of the Stoic community, you will find camaraderie, support, and shared wisdom, a fellowship of those committed to living with virtue and equanimity. Finally, as you move forward, carry with you these parting questions to guide your self-examination and commitment. How will you embody the cosmic perspective in your daily life? In what ways can you turn today's obstacles into tomorrow's opportunities? What virtues will you cultivate, and how will they redefine your understanding of pleasure? Embrace these questions. Let them resonate in your mind, and allow them to propel you towards a life of Stoic excellence. For in the earnest pursuit of Stoicism, you will find not just a philosophy to ponder, but a profound way of living that elevates the soul, enriches the spirit, and brings tranquility to both the heart and mind. Thank you for spending your time with us today. If this journey into the Stoic philosophy has enriched your understanding or aided your personal growth, please consider giving this video a like to assist others in finding these teachings. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more explorations into the profound world of Stoicism. We deeply value your presence in our community and look forward to continuing this enlightening journey together. Until next time, keep walking the path of wisdom,